About this truce.
Yeah, so that's what we're working on, to try to see if we can get an additional pause or pauses so that we can. I remember my point now. It was about the humanitarian situation, and that was discussed quite a bit. I'm not going to go into details because it is a closed council meeting, but it obviously is of a concern to everybody in the room. And so, and we had a very detailed briefing from Undersecretary General DiCarlo. And so right now there's a lot of diplomacy going on the ground, like I said earlier, and we're going to continue to do that, and hopefully bring about a change in what's going on there on the ground. But it is very serious. We're very concerned about it, and we have been talking to Israel about doing more to prevent civilians from getting harmed. And as I said earlier, I think that message is beginning to resonate a bit. But there's a lot more hard work to do, and so we're going to engage in that work and go forward.
And I understand that you want to see what's going on the ground, but what's the role of the Security Council meanwhile?
The role of the Security Council in this particular case is not to get in the way of this important diplomacy going on the ground. And that's what we want to see happen. That's why I said earlier that a Security Council product at this time would not be useful. We need to focus, let the diplomacy on the ground go forward, because we have seen some results, although not as greater results as we want to see. But that diplomacy is critically important. And so we need to allow that to happen. And as I said, my government is working 24/7 to try to do what we can, working with other parties in the region to bring that about.
What about the spillover? You mentioned that Hezbollah should not escalate in southern Lebanon. Did you discuss this matter in the meeting, and do you have any message to the parties?
It was not discussed much. It may have been raised by one colleague or another, but there wasn't a detailed discussion of it. But we are obviously concerned about the spillover of the war in Gaza right now. So we're doing everything we can through friends and regional allies who are dealing with some of the other players in the region, because nobody wants to see this war escalate and spill over into Lebanon, for example. So we're obviously concerned about that. We're going to continue to work to try to make sure that that doesn't happen. By the way, there was a discussion about the Houthi attacks on commercial vessels in the Red Sea. So that is obviously a growing concern to countries as well.
Ambassador, but when you now and also before Ambassador Thomas Greenfield say that let the diplomacy on the field work, and it's not the Security Council in this moment that can resolve the situation, people are dying and keep dying. So would you say that this can put in danger the credibility of this institution?
No, I don't think so. The Security Council just passed a resolution, as we all know, that laid out a framework for moving forward to deal with the crisis. And so, yes, we are concerned about the fact that we no longer have a pause in place right now, so that aid can get in, hostages can get out, but we're working to try to restore that pause. And we know that a pause is not the solution to this. We've got a lot more work to do, but we have to take it step by step. And we're very concerned about, as I said earlier, about this conflict spreading over into other areas in the region. And so we've got to work hard, and that's what the Secretary of State has been tasked by the President to do. And we're going to continue to do that work. When the time is appropriate for a Council product, we'll all know it. But at this point, we don't see that a Security Council product can be helpful to try to improve the situation on the ground. It may even complicate it. We don't know.
Any updates on UNIFIL?
Let me answer.
Is there a possibility of a council press statement on the Houthi attacks in the Red Sea?
There may have been. I'd have to go back and check. I think there was one last week. That's right. Thank you.
But
we'll have to
these
see.
latest ones.
I will have to see whether that's possible or not. We are very concerned about what the Houthis are doing, and that concern is only growing.
Any updates on UNIFIL mandate? Some countries believe that UNIFIL needs more access. What's your position on this?
Well, our position on UNIFIL, we just passed a resolution, as you know, earlier this year, and we didn't cover that topic in the council. We were more focused, of course, on what's going on in Gaza. But we did have a broader discussion about the region, and there's just a lot of work that still needs to be done to get us to that two-state solution.
Thank you.
Okay, folks,
Thank
thanks.
you.
Thank
Have a good
you.
evening.
Thanks for stopping.
No problem.